All right, what is up, boys? If you are watching this video, there's a high likelihood that you are not a fucking loser, that you've probably already accomplished things in your life and you know how to work hard, whether that be a career, a business, or just a reputation. At some point, you were also in the best shape of your life, whether you used to be an athlete, whether you used to just train super hard, but you probably remember what it felt like to be lean, strong, confident in your body, libido working, feeling like you're young again. You know, back in the day, you used to want to chase girls and go lift and train and all that. And you miss feeling young, and rightfully so. You deserve to live a youthful life for as long as possible, and that's exactly what I help guys with. And I know a lot of you guys have been training, dieting, trying all these bullshit diets and keto and carnivore, all this shit that you guys see all over social media, guys. And I'm here to tell you guys, I have invested thousands of dollars into mentorship and coaching, and I've been in the gym my entire life. And in this video, I break down the exact process that I use to get in the best shape of my life and how to get other high-level men, especially former athletes and driven professionals, to lose 10 to 15% of their body fat, build a ton of muscle, and more importantly, feel like themselves again in 180 days or less. And this is all done using the structured physique optimization system. And we do all of this without destroying your health, guys, because in bodybuilding, in the fitness game, longevity is key, guys. Muscle has grown very slow. We want to stay in this game. We want to be able to be healthy, be active, and be there for our loved ones for the rest of our life. So if that is you, stick around. I'm going to give you the sauce. All right, let's get into it. So this is how high-level men lose 10 to 15% body fat, build a powerful frame, and keep it for life. And guys, all of this can be done within 180 days or less using my structured physique optimization system. And we're going to do all of this without destroying your health, living in the gym for hours and hours, or rebounding back to your original starting point. All right, so if you're watching this, like I said in the beginning, you probably already built success. This is nothing new to you. There's a good chance that you're not new to hard work, whether that's career, business, or just a reputation. But for some reason, you know, your physique has never quite matched that level of excellence that you bring to the workplace. You know, you may train, eat clean, put in effort. Yet when you look in the mirror, you still see that layer of fat, that softness, those love handles. Guys, my name is Wes Sutton, and I'm going to show you exactly how I help men permanently change that using a structured, repeatable physique optimization system that doesn't rely on strictly motivation, guesswork, or extreme dieting, guys, because that stuff's not sustainable, and you probably already tried that bullshit. Before I explain how it works, let me show you guys what it actually produces. So real quick, this is my transformation. This is me after dropping over 35 pounds. Guys, this was the turning point for me. I completely changed my life during this time period, and I never looked back. Guys, this wasn't genetics. Most of my family is overweight. Most of them are not in the gym, but I didn't give a shit. I still wanted to maximize my potential and see if I had what it takes. And turns out, guys, I had decent genetics. Okay. And some of you guys have better genetics than you think you do. You've just never had a true plan to be able to execute on and, you know, see what your full potential is. None of this was luck, guys. This wasn't stumbling upon the right things at the right time. This wasn't some woo-woo shit. All of this shit was planned. I hired a coach and I executed his plan to a T. And I learned a ton of things during this process, which I've applied to my system. But the whole point is none of this is random, guys. Everything is calculated. Everything is a system, and we execute on it, guys. Weekly check-ins. This allows us to see exactly how your body is responding to the plan and then make adjustments accordingly to make sure you are progressing on a week-to-week basis. All right, so this is my client, Jared, guys. He is a CEO. He has 5 kids, a wife, and he travels for half the year. And this picture that you're seeing, this is literally our first month working together. And that's all I'm showing for now because right now we're in the lab. We're building up a ton of muscle. He's already up 5 pounds after rebounding out of his cut phase. And so as you guys can see, depending on your starting point, you might not have to cut for months and months on end. See, for Jared, he locked in, he dialed in the plan. And within 4 weeks, he went from 205 to 187. He had never been that lean, that shredded in his entire life. And within the first month, immediate progress, guys. That's because there's no crash dieting. There's no unsustainability. There's nothing broken within the system. So if it's executed on, the results are literally guaranteed. And when you guys are being consistent, checking in with me on a week-to-week basis, I'm able to pull those levers at the right time. That way you don't pull them too early or too late. We want to stay on top of that metabolism, get you guys shredded, and then pack on some lean size. All right, so this is my superstar client, Kelton. This man has completely changed his life. Numbers aside, yeah, he's lost over 30 pounds. But guys, he's completely changed as a person. He is more confident. This is his end of his 6 months, guys. I want you to understand this. This is the end of his first 6 months, and he is more motivated than he ever was before, even when he started. Because as you guys can see, when he started, I mean, his starting point and your starting point, you might not even have to do as much work as he had to do, drop this weight and get the physique that you want. But this dude is 100% natural. So everybody wants to blame PEDs and all the peptides and all that, and that's fine. For some people, that might make sense to implement some testosterone replacement therapy or maybe some Retta. But for Kelton, he just executed the program, guys. And this is a realistic view of what you can achieve in 6 months. If you put your fucking head down and you really want to lose the weight, you stay consistent with the check-ins and you keep good communication with me, guys. But during Kelton's process, we haven't abused cardio. We literally started his food higher than he had ever eaten before. He was eating 2 meals a day when he came to me. We bumped up his meal frequency. We added a little bit of cardio, and we prioritized progressive overload with his training. He's been able to not only drop this body fat, but also get stronger at all of his lifts. He's at an all-time high as far as strength. And that should tell you something. If you're able to drop that much weight and still have all-time strength, that should show you guys that this isn't some bullshit starvation method that's not going to work, and you're going to get results if you just execute on the plan. Sorry, guys, I'm sped. All right, so this is my client, Taylo, and he is a great example of how some of you guys will be able to completely recomp. He's gained 10 pounds in between these two photos in our first 3 months working together. He's hitting lifetime PRs. He hit the hundreds on the dumbbells the other day for the first time. He just shot me a text. And guys, I love it. I love seeing you guys absolutely morph, because when this system is executed on, guys, you get crazy. You just do get crazy results. And it's not because, oh, I just think that my program works better. It's just because when you apply the system and you can execute on it at a high level, you don't give excuses. You just follow the plan and trust it and give it time to work. These are the results that you can expect. So as you can see, absolutely packing on size with his back right here. As you can see, he was softer, flatter. His muscles weren't as full. He wasn't as strong in the gym. And so we've essentially filled him out without spilling him over and making him fat. And he's only going to continue to put on muscle because we keep him lean. We don't abuse anything, whether that's food, training, the PEDs. You don't abuse any of that shit. You slowly pull the triggers as needed, and that's how you can get crazy progress. So this system is very repeatable. As I've shown you guys, not only did it work for me, but it's worked for several different types of men with different types of jobs and starting points. The whole point is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your schedule is, what your specific goal is, because the whole point is we're going to strip down the body fat and we're going to pack on size, and you're going to look the best you've ever looked in your life. So at the end of the day, you're getting the same outcome. Okay, regardless of your starting point. I don't care if you're 40% body fat or you're 10% body fat and you're trying to optimize and dial the fuck in and achieve a physique that you never achieved before. That's really the goal here, is to bring you to your max potential and allow you to never have to look back, never have to go back to feeling like shit. Because once you learn all of these things, once you become a client, you go through the program, you probably won't even need me after a year. You're just going to be jacked. You'll probably be able to coach other people, because I give out a lot of information to my clients, guys. I don't hold anything back, and there's always a reason behind why we do these things. But if you're wondering if this is going to work for you, it will work for you. But will you work for you? That's the real question. So who is this program for? So this program is specifically designed for high achieving men ready to apply the same discipline they've already used to build their careers, to build their life, and transfer that energy into building an elite physique. So we're looking at losing 10 to 15% of our body weight, especially if you are on the higher level as far as body fat percentage. Obviously, we're going to need to strip down a little bit more. And if you're leaner, a little bit less. But then we're going to build a powerful frame, guys. We're going to stack on muscle. Results can vary, and that's because exercise intensity varies, genetics vary. But I will say intensity within your exercises and your ability to execute a plan is going to be the number one factor when it comes to building muscle. But in this program, it's a clear blueprint, guys. It's cut and dry. I know many of you guys, you don't want to sit here and waste time. You don't want all this fluff and bullshit. That's why I'm getting straight to the point. It's a clear blueprint, and I'm going to go over all of that. It's going to enhance your life, and it's going to make you feel like you're 21 again. You're going to be a fucking beast. All right, so who is this program not for? So if you are still needing some motivation or a quick fix, or you want a 30-day transformation, maybe you want some cycle advice or some magic pill or a source, this isn't for you guys. I help guys change their life. I'm not a fucking source. I don't sell steroids. I don't sell peptides. I don't have any fucking affiliate codes. I'm not an influencer. The truth is, guys, I'm just out here giving free value. And if you want to work together, then we will change your life. But no motivational speeches, guys. There's just no need. We're just going to execute. You don't need a fucking cheerleader by your side. You need somebody to be real with you and to keep you on track. But consistency is required. You know, if you suck at being consistent, you'll probably suck at this program and you'll be underwhelmed with the results you get. But if you are very consistent and you execute like a badass motherfucker, like a CEO, like a killer sales guy, like a guy who demands respect in the room, then you're going to do great, guys. I promise you guys, I know I keep hitting on this point, but it's because I am so convicted in my belief to change lives. And that brings me to my next point. Belief matters. If you don't believe in yourself, I can believe in yourself. I can believe in you literally more than you, but you've got to do the work at the end of the day. So you can, accumulate some motivation through me, through my story, through my other client wins. But at the end of the day, you've got to believe in yourself and you've got to be able to be consistent and follow the plan. All right. So here is the truth about getting in shape that a lot of people probably haven't told you. You absolutely can get lean, muscular, and athletic without giving up your favorite foods or living in the gym for hours and hours, guys. Being transparent, now that I've developed my physique, I don't even have to stay on top of everything. I stay on top of my training and I stay on top of certain principles and certain habits, and that's able to maintain my physique. And I know if I want to level up, I'm going to apply these exact same principles and pack on some more muscle. So the reason why most men never achieve this is simple. They don't understand how to, or they're information overload. They don't know which direction to go, a little bit lost when it comes to direction. But the main thing here, guys, is you're going to want to train with intent and you're going to want to train with progressive overload. And I know you hear that all the time, guys, but the true separator, and coming from somebody in the bodybuilding world, been around a ton of bodybuilders, IFBB pros, I'll tell you right now what separates them. Their ability to execute a plan, consistency, and intensity in the gym. These motherfuckers know how to bring it. And that's why a lot of these guys got great results, even without the PEDs, and then the PEDs just enhanced it. So once you learn how to train with true intensity, which is something I really hammer with my guys, I have my guys send me weekly training footage and we dial that in on a week-to-week basis. Like I said, everything's calculated, no fucking guesswork. But guys, you're going to have to learn to eat with structure. You're going to have to learn to eat in a way where you optimize performance. And keto, pulling fucking carbs down to nothing, is the dumbest shit that you can do unless it's for a very small period of time at the end of a cut. And then you're going to have to add them back in, guys, because we can't drive our training performance down into the dirt and then expect to hold on to all of our hard-earned muscle as we cut down, guys. If you want to hold on to muscle when you cut, training performance is going to be the number one factor. If you can maintain training performance, maintain strength in the gym, if we can feed you enough to provide that, then you're going to get a crazy look when you cut down. As you guys can see here, I didn't really lose any muscle during my cut. And yeah, sure, there were some PEDs involved because I stepped on a bodybuilding stage. I actually won my class in both divisions. But the truth is, if you train intense, if you apply these principles, you're going to be able to cut down and hold on to the muscle. But you got to make sure you're recovering. You've got to make sure you're sleeping. You've got to make sure you're doing the boring shit, because if you can't do the boring shit, the fun shit will never come. What I really help guys do is integrate this system into a real life situation. So say you're busy, say you got 5 kids like Jared, you're a CEO, you travel half the year. Well, for him, he has a structured meal plan. If he needs to, we also have the macros to line up. So he can line up his macros if he can't get that specific meal in. And guys, as you can see, it's fucking working. He's able to fit his macros in even when he can't get the exact meal he's supposed to get in. And that just goes to show, don't miss the forest for the trees. We got to focus on what matters. And my job is to dial that in, because, guys, being precise with your execution, with what exactly you're doing on a day-to-day basis, is what's going to drive the needle. That's exactly what I help guys do. So how did I get here? So I was a college athlete, competitive driven. I use structure and discipline within a team environment. Guys, you got team workouts. If one guy fucks up, we all fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And, I had that team environment around me. That competitive nature really does push you. And that's exactly what a coach does as well. It literally creates a competitive environment for you to put yourself in to level up. And understand that's why guys level up, is because they put themselves in an uncomfortable environment, whether that's a fucking boot camp, a training program, a fucking sales course, whatever it is. It's uncomfortable. You don't want to do it, but you do it anyways. And guys, this is when you see results. But when everything ended, guys, with college baseball, I had a broken back. I had to quit playing a sport that I had played since I was 4 years old. So now I'm 21 years old. I'm taking online classes and working construction. And I was left having to figure it out on my own. So what did I do? I was training hard as fuck, because gym was my therapy. So the gym saved me many times, guys, and I think it would save many of you guys. But for me, this was my dungeon. This was my therapy. So I was just going in there, just training like an animal. I was eating healthy. I thought, getting my protein in, pushing the calories way too high, ended up getting too fat. But I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was just applying more effort, more getting my protein in, counting my macros some days, and then just balls to the wall into the gym. And I got some results, but I got average results. Those after pictures that you see of me all over my Instagram, all over my YouTube, identity shift that I needed to level up. I needed to put myself back in that competitive environment so that I could be in the position to put myself through shit that I've never been through and level up. So the breakthrough at the end of the day wasn't doing more. It was actually doing less, but it was more calculated. It was a plan that I could execute on a day-to-day basis. And once I started running my body like an asset instead of a fucking hobby, applying business level precision to training and nutrition, everything changed, guys. And this is when I built the system that I use with my clients. This same methodology that I talk about, guys, it's produced results for me, my clients, and it continues to do so. And when I want to pack on muscle, I apply these principles. All right, so here's the system, and here's how it actually works. So it's breaking into 2 core phases, right, guys? Because we got to strip the body fat, become insulin sensitive, and then we'll be able to pack on the size. And I break it down into 4 essential pillars. Of course, the first pillar being training, progressive, intelligent programming designed to build muscle, boost metabolism, and lose fat. And then I'm going to set up your nutrition, precise macronutrients, of course, but we've got to have the micros in there, a digestion first approach, because we fuck up our gut, we fuck up our progress, because we fuck up nutrient partitioning, all these issues. But I nip that in the bud and make sure that doesn't happen in the first place by setting up a plan specifically made for you and your body. So recovery wise, this is going to be fucking essential. Sleep optimization, stress management. If you need a CPAP, get a CPAP. If you need to take ashwagandha and GABA to go to sleep, do it, because we got to get our sleep in. Okay, recovery is so important, and it's probably the most neglected one on this. And then the last part is hormone optimization. Now, for some of you, you may have fine hormones. Maybe you are a younger guy that's successful and you have decent hormones. You just need some direction. You'd like to stay natural. But for those guys who do need help optimizing hormones, implementing things like testosterone, growth hormone, peptides, all of these things to speed up the process. I do help guys with that, and it does play a role to a certain extent when trying to achieve an elite physique. All right, so here's phase one, foundation and fat loss. Like I said, guys, we've got to strip the body fat before we can do anything, because a fat body, it doesn't produce great results. We've got to get the metabolism going. We've got to get the body working like a machine so that when we fuel it, it treats it that way and it uses those nutrients efficiently. So the goal, strip unnecessary body fat systematically, build work capacity and conditioning up over time, improve insulin sensitivity, and prime the body for muscle growth. And I put a few split examples here. You might do chest, calves, abs, and then back, traps, and then leg, abs, and then shoulders. That'd be a 4-day-a-week split. I do like for my more advanced guys to run a PPL variation, training 5 days a week and resting 2 days a week. But the goal during this phase is slightly higher volume, higher reps, because repetitions and getting in those sets, it really does matter. Practicing your intensity, your execution on these exercises, it all plays a huge factor in the end result and how fast you progress. So this is it right here. This is the first phase, the first 90 to 120 days. We're going to be stripping off the body fat, getting you insulin sensitive. That way you can prime your body for muscle growth. All right, so phase one, nutrition strategy. So we do not starve you. I will not fucking starve you. Like my client Kelton, like I said, we actually fed him more food and he continued to drop weight. And I do this by prioritizing protein optimization. Guys, we've got to prioritize protein. That's the main driver in our diet. And then we're going to strategically place those carbs within your plan. That way we are fueling training performance, guys, because like I say, training performance is number one, whether we are in a cut or a growth phase. Because in a cut, if you can bring the intensity, if you can maintain training performance, guys, you can hold on to that muscle. And at the end of the day, that's how you're going to get the look that you want. You've got to have the muscle and be able to lose the body fat. And then as far as fats goes, if you're an enhanced guy, you really don't hardly need any fats. But for my non-enhanced guys, my natural guys, I like to go with more of a balanced approach, use the carbs and fats and manipulate both of those variables as we cut down. And then the last part is meal timing, guys. This is crucial. Getting those carbs in around the peri-workout window, pre-workout, intra-workout, post-workout, and then tapering off the carbs in those other meals until needed in the growth phase. And that's exactly what we do, guys. Yeah, that's it. Right here in front of you. I know it seems very simple, but it's a long-term sustainable system. Like I said, we track this stuff week to week. So when you're doing that, you can see how your body's changing and make the right changes to keep the dial moving. Because at the end of the day, when we're not progressing, we feel like shit. And the goal is keep that body fat moving down on a week-to-week basis. If we stall out for a week or two, so be it. We'll ramp the metabolism back up and push it even further. All right, so here is the recovery protocol, guys. Sleep becomes non-negotiable in the system. It's where adaptation happens. It's where hormones are optimized, and this is when your body actually transforms. So your pre-sleep nutrition, sorry guys, I can't talk, but no food an hour or two before bed is really going to optimize growth hormone release during your sleep. And also digestion. If you eat too close to bed, digestion might be a little messed up when you wake up. Another thing, keep the screens away. I know we live in the age of social media. Put the blue light glasses on if you're going to be on your phone close to bed. But light definitely fucks up your sleep. You want to get your circadian rhythm in a good, optimal state. And you definitely want to make sure the temperature is lower, guys. If it's hot as hell and you're a bigger guy, you're going to sleep like shit. So let's get it cool. Let's keep the screens away and let's keep food away from nighttime. And guys, this is the biggest thing that people overlook that's really going to drive the fat loss and the muscle growth. And like my client Halo completely recomped. He told me, he was like, my sleep is 1,000,000 times better. My training's 1,000,000 times better. And all of these things come together. And that's why, these guys don't want to talk about drugs. It's like, well, you can have the drugs in place, but if you're not recovering, you're not going to grow muscle and you're not going to lose body fat. All right. So here's the fourth pillar, hormone optimization. Like I said before, everything in this program works without anything extra. You can get elite results just with training, nutrition, and recovery dialed in. Of course, if you have better genetics than others, you might get crazy results. with just doing this naturally. But if you are wanting to optimize your hormones, if you are, say, you're a middle-aged guy, like I know many of you guys are, and you want to maximize your genetic potential and longevity, there is a fourth lever that eventually matters, and that's hormone optimization. But let me be very clear, this isn't about abusing drugs, reckless cycles, and this isn't required to get in great shape. But if you are going to do it, it does require precision, longevity, and performance, guys. It's all about optimizing your biology to perform at the highest level possible sustainably. We want to be able to do this forever, and that's why I set my program up this way. So when it comes to optimizing testosterone levels, most men have suboptimal testosterone. Even if they're technically in range, you might still kind of feel like shit, especially if your free T is trash. But being normal for a 50-year-old doesn't mean you're optimized for performance, okay? And some common causes of low T: poor sleep, like I was saying, chronic stress, which I know you guys are stressed the fuck out, elevated cortisol. I help my guys with all of this stuff. And then if you're excessively carrying too much body fat, especially visceral fat, this can definitely drive down testosterone levels. And that usually comes from years of improper dieting. So we really want to focus on 7 to 9 hours of sleep, restorative sleep, getting in good quality whole foods, reducing that body fat, increasing the uptake of quality nutrients, and decreasing the amount of bullshit you put in your body. This is going to be the biggest thing here. And then as far as implementing like testosterone replacement therapy, I do like to start my guys at, say, around 200 milligrams or so. Say you're a middle-aged guy, start you around 200 milligrams, maybe put a low-dose growth hormone, maybe a little bit of retatrutide to drive that needle a little bit faster. But it's very simple. And to avoid side effects, you want to increase your dosage frequency. So instead of injecting once, twice a week, or even worse, once every 2 weeks, we want to be doing at least 3 injections per week. And as that dosage goes up, the importance of injection frequency also goes up, because as the testosterone rises, you get more conversion to DHT and to estrogen. So you might see more side effects. And so if we can spread that dosage out, we'll get less overall side effects and be able to run higher dosages. All right, so let's talk a little bit about peptides. I mainly use peptides with my clients for recovery and longevity and cosmetic purposes. So peptides are one of the most misunderstood tools. Everybody thinks that they're going to build tons of muscle or they're going to completely transform their body with peptides. And yeah, you may get some results from some of these growth hormones, secretagogues or IGF-1, this and that. But if we're talking about longevity, sustainable results, things like GLPs, like retatrutide specifically, the other ones are fucking garbage. Mott's Slew PP332, utilizing these things at the right time, like especially during a fat loss phase for those. And then things like methylene blue. Let's see, what's another good one? GHKCU is another good one for hair, skin, and nails. But I help my clients with all of this stuff. This isn't a peptide rant. But the point is we can utilize peptides to enhance that recovery and longevity so you can do this shit forever. All right, so let's talk about PEDs, which you guys have all been waiting for. Nah, some of you. But understand, like I keep saying, this is optional and we want to prioritize health first, because if we don't have our health, you can't even use this shit. Because guys, if your body's not healthy, it doesn't matter what you put in it. It's not gonna work for you how you want it. So PEDs are not required to get elite results, but for the men who choose to go this route, whether it's for competitive bodybuilding, elite physique development, or optimizing performance, the difference between success and an absolute fucking disaster is education, restraint, and proper implementation with a coach. So as far as conservative dosing, like I said, with the testosterone, we're going to use the minimum effective dose, not the maximum tolerated dose, okay? And this may be a little bit different if you're a competitive bodybuilder. That might be flipped a little bit, but I know for many of you guys, we're going to want to get the most out of the least, and then it'll be up to you, if you want to push that dial further. But we're going to make health first decision making, guys. We're going to get blood work done. We're going to check our cardiovascular function, our hormone balance, because like I said, our goal is long-term sustainability. We got to stay healthy. When it comes to compound selection, we really want to be smart about this. I don't really like to go into specific dosaging with other compounds because that varies so much based on how somebody responds. But in general, test Primo, Masteron, Those are some pretty mild anabolic stacks that you can add in. But something important to note, Primo will directly lower your estrogen. It's kind of like Equipoise. It will lower your E2 number. And so you got to be careful with your dosage ratios with your testosterone to make sure you don't crush your estrogen. And then Masteron will mask those effects. It won't directly drop that estradiol number. But with Masteron, essentially you could run like 300 tests and you could crank the Masteron dosage up to 300, 400, 500, 600 milligrams while keeping that same test dosage because it doesn't crush estrogen. So you're able to use it as like white rice to add in the meal plan because at the end of the day, it's just driving more anabolism and doing it in the healthiest way possible. Of course, anytime you take PEDs, your health is going to take a bit of a hit. And so we always monitor blood work and then make our decisions based off that. And just an important disclaimer, I do want to note that I'm not a medical doctor. Any discussion around hormones, peptides, or performance enhancement is education only and should be handled responsibly with appropriate medical professionals. All decisions regarding hormone optimization, therapeutic peptides, or performance enhancing drugs must be made in consultation with a qualified healthcare provider who can monitor your health markers and ensure safety. This information is provided for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment recommendations. Just wanted to put that out there, guys, because I'm not a doctor, but I do help guys get in the best shape of their life and stay healthy doing it. All right, so we are now in phase 2. We've stripped the body fat off, and now it's time to rebuild and stack on some muscle tissue. So this is the ascension phase, guys. For all my Lux Maxers, you guys know that word ascension. But basically, guys, this is when we're going to fucking grow. This is when it gets real, okay? Once the body fat's stripped, metabolism's prime, we're going to shift gears. So this is the last 60 to 90 days, the last 2 to 3 months. This is where the magic happens. This is where we start really packing on some size. Your body's in a good place. You've learned to apply more intensity with your training. So now you can probably get away with lower volume, apply lower rep ranges, and more precise training, but with more intensity, guys, with heavier weights. And this is what's going to drive that muscle growth, not training like a pussy, and then knowing when to let off and when to let it fucking rip. And as far as nutrition strategy, guys, calories are going to slowly increase with carbohydrates leading the way for fuel and performance to drive that growth. This is where the physique fills out. So when you're depleted of glycogen, you get super lean, and then you replenish that glycogen and slowly feed your body up. You're able to stay lean while stacking on that muscle size. And the leaner you got in phase 1, the more aggressive you can be in phase 2. Insulin sensitivity is optimized, muscle is primed for growth, and your body is a hypertrophy machine, guys. You're going to pack on a ton of fucking muscle. All right, so why does this program work and others don't? The truth is, guys, most programs fail because the infrastructure, the structure behind the program, it's not sustainable. It's not something that people can stick to long-term, 6 months to a year. So they crash diet, you fucking feel like shit, and then you don't even want to do the rest of the program, and then you fall off. Excuse me, guys, let me take a little sip. And part of the reason that you fall off is because there's no oversight. There's no feedback. There's no adjustments being made on a week-to-week basis. And there's no fucking data driving these decisions. See, when I check in with my clients every Sunday, they send in their check-in form, they send in their pictures, and they answer certain questions that let me know how their body is reacting to the current plan. So all of the decisions that I make are data-driven. It's not emotionally based. I don't go, oh, well, I feel like we should pull carbs today. It's like, well, no, we'll pull carbs if needed. If not, we're not. You know, the plan stays the same. You're still progressing. And then, of course, accountability, guys, is huge. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care how much of a killer you are. More accountability is always going to be better. In this program, I provide all of these things: oversight, feedback, adjustments. It's all fucking data-driven. And the weekly check-ins, the consistent texting with my clients. It's all about accountability, making sure you stay on plan. And if you run into any roadblocks, showing you how to maneuver past those and continue to make progress. All right, so here's the offer. If I accepted you into this program, you'll work directly with me for 6 to 12 months, depending on your goal and your timeline. You're going to get full customized training. I'm going to program it, designed specifically to your body, schedule, and goals, and I'm going to adjust it on a weekly basis as needed. Some people, their program doesn't fucking change for 3 months and they just get steady progress. Some people, the plan may change the second week. That's all based on how your body changes, how your life changes. We make sure that the needle stays driving forward. Precision nutrition is obviously fucking crucial, guys. I'm going to dial in your meal plan, whether you're a lifestyle guy or you're a bodybuilder guy. I'm going to dial in a plan specifically made for you. I'm going to apply all these principles, and we're going to be able to fuel your training, shed the body fat off, and then pack on size. And then recovery, lifestyle structure. We're going to optimize your sleep, stress management, and integrate how can we work around your current lifestyle, your current job, and make sure that you're spending time with your loved ones, you're getting your work handled, but you're also building a great fucking physique that you're proud of. And the other part, hormone optimization, education. Of course, like you guys have heard me talk about over and over, I help my clients optimize their hormones when appropriate. Guidance on testosterone and peptide protocols are the main things that I help guys with. But like I said, if you are wanting to push the dial, if you are wanting to implement PEDs, anabolics, that's your decision, and I can help you do that. And then weekly accountability, guys, regular check-ins, progress tracking, and direct access, guys. All of my clients, my elite clients, my one-on-one clients, they get direct access to me. So you get my fucking phone number. If you need to call me up, if you need to text me up anytime, I'm here for you. So that's what you're getting with my offer. And you're getting my fucking promise that I am going to deliver on my side. I just need somebody willing to execute on this, and then you're going to get crazy results. So my guarantee to you guys, I'm so confident in my process, in my program, guys, you're going to lose minimum 10% of your body fat, guys, especially if you're starting at a higher body fat percentage. This might be significantly more. Of course, if you're starting at a leaner state, then you might not have to lose as much body fat, but then we're going to pack on tons of fucking size, and you're only going to be able to look better because the quicker we get you leaner, the quicker we can add size, and the better your physique's going to look. So if you execute the program as designed, follow the training, hit your nutrition targets, prioritize recovery, and maintain consistent communication, if you don't lose 10% of your body weight within 180 days, we're going to fucking address it. If you guys need your fucking money back, I'll give it to you. But the truth is, guys, if you execute the plan, if you stay in communication with me, if you do all of these things, you will get results. It's fucking guaranteed. And I'm willing to say that. And I say that because I've seen so many different types of guys come in here and get results. And I've seen so many types of guys who come in here and they fucking give up. And the truth is, the only people who don't get results are the ones who give up. They back out. They're like, oh, this is too hard. This is too much. Life's too crazy. Guys, if a CEO with 5 kids, traveling half the year, if a guy who works 18-hour days can fucking do it, you can do it too. This isn't some marketing bullshit. This is just what works, and I'm confident in my method. Your part is just to execute on the plan, and you're going to get the results that you want. All right, so if you guys are tired of fucking guessing and you want to start executing on a proven system that works, you want real long-lasting results that you can hold on to for life, guys, you want to feel like a 21-year-old badass again, DM me the word coach. That way I know you came from this video, and we'll talk. I'll review your situation. We'll figure out what your goal is, what you're struggling with, how long you've been doing it. And then if you're a fit, guys, we'll move forward and we'll start today. If you're seeing this video and you want to start today, shoot me a message on Instagram. We can book a call today and get started. But guys, at the end of the day, it's all up to you. If you don't want to change, I can't make you change. I can have all of the info and knowledge and results. But if you're not willing to change, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, to take that leap, the scary step, I know it's scary. You're trying to get back in the gym, or you're trying to reach this unachievable physique in your head, but it's really not unachievable, guys. People underestimate what they can do in 6 months and overestimate what they can do in a month or two. And that's why I do these longer programs, guys, because the guys who are committed, the guys who invest up front, commit long-term, those are the guys who get results. So if that's you, DM me the word coach, and let's get after it.